Okay, here we go with part three, our last installment from Saturday. So let's get into the action here. This is a really good first point to start with. Holly hits a good low ball, and let's see what develops. What's really nice is I love Holly's transition as Gina is dealing with this ball. She's not waiting to see what she's going to hit, because Gina's kind of in charge of the point there. So Holly moves up there. I love it. You guys are in a good offensive position, and Steph is scrambling. And here's the opportunity coming up at this point. And what I would like you to look at is, your line of vision here. We know that we've pulled Steph out of the court. We've opened up the middle of the court, and this is your free hit for a free point. You can certainly go back at Jamie, but I never like to let anybody get the racket on the ball because they can't get lucky that way. So let's see what Gina does with this ball. She, instead of going through the center, she goes down at Jamie. Not a bad spot because Jamie is playing it from below the net. But I always hate it because people sometimes get awfully lucky with these shots, especially, as Gina is going for this ball, Holly is getting sucked into the situation, thinking it might be her ball. Obviously, the problem with that is, on contact, we see where both of them have pinched into the middle, and what Jamie's looking at is, boy, if I can get my racket on the ball, this is going to be an easy point for me. And let's see what she's able to do with it. There you go. The ball gets over to the middle of the court. Okay, so good start on that point. Let's go ahead and move forward now into our next situation. Okay. It's an interesting point. I didn't realize I had included this one, but here's a situation where Holly sent up a relatively weak ball to the outer part of the court here, and the only thing of note here that I think the reason I chose this is, when your opponents are going to hit the ball, I always played with a mantra, and that was, if they're going to beat me, I'm not going to let the ball get through the center of the court. I'll let them hit an angle before I give them the middle of the court, because I think Jamie was just eyeballing that and did go right through the center of the court. So that's about all I wanted to say on that one. So let's go ahead and move on to our third point here. Again, this is, just one of these habits that, we just want to clean up on our play, and that is just losing focus of that net person, which, if they're not aggressive at all, it's not that huge of a thing, but in this case, Steph is at the net, and she tends to be pretty assertive, so we just want to keep our eyeballs. It's a good thing to take a glance back at your partner, but immediately, and you can see how Steph is edging in just a little bit. She's hoping to get a racket on it. Okay, here we've got really good spacing here between the two of you. Minimal space here, minimal space here, minimal space here. You've divided up the court quite nicely in defending whatever Jamie hits back to you. Okay, let's say that shot was good at that point. We know only a lob is coming back, so you guys would just be hovering back around the service line area for yourself, and that way you wouldn't be hurt by that. Okay, and this is, I'm just pointing out something that here we have a situation. It comes down to awareness of your partner, and it happens to all of us, and that is in Jamie's position here. She's got to be aware of how this ball goes over the net, and taking a little glance would tell her that her partner has moved around her backhand to hit a forehand, which tells Jamie what she would need to do was to just back into the center of the court at this point, because her partner's running around her backhand, hit a stronger shot, but at the same time is sacrificing a little bit of court coverage. So let's see what happens with this shot. She goes inside out cross court, and she moves in there. Okay, Gina's picked up Jamie at the net. We're in good shape there. Pretty good shape. The reason I say that is I think Gina is a little bit tight to the net. And your thinking is this: if that person opposite me, which is Jamie in this situation, is able to get a racket on it, do I have enough time to react to it? And I think what happens here, Jamie does scoot out into the center of the court. Good move, and it does go in your direction, Gina, and the only thing that's lacking is you just didn't have quite enough time in that scenario. Had you been positioned back just a couple steps further away from the net, that would have been a relatively easy play for you to respond to Jamie's volley. But very difficult when you're that close to the net. So let's move on for one more point here. Okay, I liked how you followed that in, Holly. Okay, now Gina's got the ball on her racket, and she's got a couple of options for herself. One is through there, and the other one could be an angle over here. Let's just see where she goes with this. She goes right into Steph's feet, which is, don't get me wrong, that's always a good play, but whenever I had an opening through the center at an angle, I like to play shots that people just simply can't get their racket on it, because, again, it goes back to I'm giving them zero chance to get lucky with it. So still a good play right there. So that's all I've got for you. Hope you guys enjoy all these video tips in there. I'd say the main thing for you guys is just be very aware of your spacing between the two of you, and let's make sure we don't leave that big gap in the center. And always know that you've got your focus on that opposite net person, because as I tell everybody, don't trust that opposite net person. You never know where they're going to be and what they're doing, so keep them in your line of sight. Okay? That's all. Great job, you guys. Certainly, if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. Other than that, good luck. I know you guys are going to knock them dead down there in the tournament. Okay? Thanks. Bye-bye.